We are back like we never left. But we had to come back to talk about the one and only Khamzat Boris Chimaev. He returns this weekend, and me and Dorian are here to talk about the entire card. But before we get started, we have some housekeeping notes, some updates. I'll pass to Dorian real quick. I'll let him know how he's been and everything. So Dorian, go ahead.
Yeah, just recently just had a big move, and we just expanded the family here recently. So I got a new baby now, and father of two. So life has been moving real fast. So I had the real nice background last time we were here. So of course, making some changes. I'm still getting everything set up on that end, but man, there's been a lot of life updates. So sorry we've been gone, but we're back now. We're back.
Just like Anderson Silva said, we back. We back.
We back. Wanna now? Wanna
Yeah.
now? We back.
But as always, I
I'm
am Matt
combining everything.
Anderson. As always, I am Matt Anderson. He is Dorian Rose. This is the Golden Octagon MMA podcast. Today, we're just going to go over UFC 273, talk about big fights on the card, maybe a few bets, who we think is going to win all together. And I have my strap here, Dorian. You probably don't have yours because you weren't winning it to begin with, but I got mine here, so that's all that matters.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we'll call me the reigning champ, but you know what? It's all right. We'll give you a chance to win it at the end of this weekend. But here we go. So up first fight of the night, Julio Arce versus Santos. It's going to be a banger, dude. I do think it's going to be like a good fight, but it's not really what we're here to talk about. Up next, Kay Hansen taking on Pereira Rodriguez. Kay Hansen missed weight, 118 and a half, so she's going to lose some of her purse there. Julio Arce also missed weight, but only by a half pound. He almost made it. The first one that I do want to stop to talk about real quick, Alexia Olynyk versus Jared Bandera. Alexia Olynyk trying to get his 60th win, taking on Jared Bandera, and man, he is a big boy. Anything to say about this fight before we move on to the rest of the card, man?
Let's do it, dude. Dude,
All
I'm
right.
excited. Dude, this is going to be a good card. Of course, the top three fights, we're super excited for. But I do think going down the rest of the card, I kind of, gave it some slack. But even going through the card, as of now, even out of all the fights that it's still lost, it's still got some pretty good fights still left on there. So, definitely excited for this weekend.
He clearly didn't hear my question. What do you got to
Nope.
say about the Olynyk versus the Bandera fight?
Oh, Olynyk versus Bandera. I thought you said the card. Oh, Olynyk versus Bandera. Man, I think this fight can be very interesting. I know Bandera is taking this fight on a little bit of short notice because wasn't Olynyk supposed to fight Ilir Latifi here recently?
Last week, or not last week, the
Yeah,
week before, yeah.
yeah. So I know he's taking it on a little bit of short notice. Bandera, I think he also lost to Arlovsky as well. So kind of had a little bit of ups and downs, but we know Olynyk's been getting a little bit battered here lately, to say the least. He's getting a little bit long in the tooth now. So for him, I just think it's really just going to be just how long he can really hold up, even with Bandera having, his ups and downs in the UFC. So I think if it came down to, are you wanting my decision on who I think is going to win the fight now, or
Not yet, not yet.
okay, but overall, I think Olynyk's going to have his hands full for sure.
I I do agree with you that Olynyk's going to have his hands full just by the sheer size. It's how do I say this? There's a 22-pound weight difference at the scale, and that's just at the scale. At the face-offs, Jared Bandera was even bigger than he was at the scale. Like this dude cuts weight to make 266, and it's not like he's like a ripped 266 either. It almost looks like he just doesn't have the best diet, and he just needs to cut just a few pounds to make that like limit, but he still carries around quite a bit of the overall body fat.
Plenty of Budweisers in there, man. No Bud Lights. He does not drink any Bud Lights. Get a Bud Light out of his face. He's definitely Budweiser for sure.
Yeah. And I think a few fights ago, like the fight was called off because like he made weight, but then like the doctor was like, no, like he's in like not good shape to fight, and like the dude weighed in like 266 still. So it's like I kind of wonder how serious he takes the diet and such, and it kind of shows in his fights because he does kind of get tired. That midpoint of the fight, that like 1.5 rounds, that's when he really it kind of starts to show. And I don't want to say who I'm picking too early, but I do think this is going to end up on the ground at some point. And I only see one person winning this. So moving along, Mickey Gall taking on Mike Malott. Mike Malott, UFC newcomer here. Mickey Gall, everyone knows him, famously defeated CM Punk in his original fight. I guess I'm kind of interested to see what like Mike Malott can do in the UFC. Kid looks good. He's big. Anything here, man, or you want to move on?
Really just that Mike Malott, he looked pretty decent in his Dana White Contender Series fight that I had seen him in. But I honestly had some pretty high hopes for Mickey Gall coming into this fight. I think Mickey Gall's coming off a win in his last fight, but seeing him on the scale,
he lost via split decision, maybe.
It was Alex Morano, but he had the win against Jordan Williams, is what I was thinking.
But it was a good fight, but
it was a good fight. Yeah, no, and I do remember that fight being a close fight. But I thought Mickey Gall looked a little drained on the scale. So today, honestly, seeing yesterday or earlier, I'm sorry. Like when we seen him on the scale this morning, he did not. To me, he did not look that great on the scale when I seen him earlier. So maybe, I don't know if it'll come up in his performance or not, but that's something to definitely keep an eye on for.
Fair enough. I, on the other hand, thought he looked good. A person that I did not think looked good. Moving on to the next fight. Aspen Lab versus Rocky Pennington. Man, me and you are both kind of on the same train as far as how we feel about Aspen Lab. Like, she's good, but we just feel like it's like she's way overhyped. Like, she's not that good. But man, coming in on the scales today, I got to admit, Aspen Lab did look pretty good on the scale. She has abs, dude. She's cut up. The other hand, man, Rocky did not look good, man. I don't know if she was tired this morning. She was extra drained, something. Rocky did not look good. And it kind of makes me hesitant because all of my bets earlier like this week have been for Rocky by decision. I guess Dorian's now has a daughter and a dog, but but
a couple dogs.
But all my bets were for Rocky to win by decision, but after seeing like the weigh-ins earlier, I'm like, damn, Rocky didn't look good, but she's a vet. She's done this multiple times, but everyone has a bad weight cut every now and then. And Aspen Lad did look good. What do you got to say here, man? You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, because I had the dogs going off in the background. So sorry about that. But no, I for some reason I don't know how Aspen Lad ended up passing up on the scales for me to where I didn't see her. But I did see Rocky earlier on the official weigh-ins this morning. And I thought Rocky she looked good.
Really? Like she looked like
No.
I don't know. She looked
I thought she
tired.
I don't know if I guess I don't want to say looked good, but I don't want to say she looked any worse than she has here recently. And like I know the fight against Macy Jansen, I know she took that fight on pretty short notice. So one thing about her conditioning, she might not look like she's in the most healthy shape because she's not as bricked up as maybe some of the people in her division are, but she's always tend to have pretty good cardio and everything. So I don't tend to be too worried about that for her. On the other end with Aspen Lad, we both kind of been on the same train for, just thinking that, she's good, but limited. And honestly, Rocky's looked really good here lately. So I think the UFC's done really good as far as matchmaking these two, one of the older vets against one of the younger promising fighters that the promotion has a lot of hopes for in the future. So I think this is really good matchmaking by the UFC, and I think this could be a really interesting fight as well.
Did you say that you didn't see her like weigh in, or that you did see her weigh in?
I didn't see Aspen Lab. I did not because I know you said she had a six pack, and that actually surprised me because I know that in the past she has been always kind of been poked at for not having the best of shape whenever she was going to any type of weigh-ins or anything like that. Because I think the fight that she had against Macy Chasen that she had scheduled, it got canceled because she had like a bad weight cut issue, right?
Indeed. And Chasen did not want to fight her. I'm going to find this in just a second, and I'm gonna send it to you. What do you think on the next fight, real quick? Fluffy Hernandez versus Josh Friend.
Yeah, I think for Fluffy, he's kind of had it a little rough because I know that he was supposed to. I know he had a different opponent originally, then it got switched to Dricus du Plessis, and then Calvin Gastelum lost Nasruddin Imavov, and then that's when Dricus got matched up against Calvin. So then Fluffy got matched up against Josh Friend. So I kind of feel bad for Fluffy kind of going back and forth, but he's definitely doing a solid for the UFC as far as staying on and taking on a fight against the UFC newcomer and Josh Friend, which don't know too much about except for just know that people have said that he's a little bit of a scrapper. But I know Anthony Hernandez, win or lose, he's in some pretty relatively fun fights for the most part. So I think he had that fight against Adolfo Vieira. I think we all kind of had that on our mind when we last remember Fluffy Hernandez and Joe Rogan, just going absolutely nuts because Fluffy ended up putting it on Adolfo Vieira after he almost got finished in the first round. And Adolfo Vieira is a big submission guy, a big jiu-jitsu guy, and Anthony Hernandez was able to gas him out and submission him. So, but I am excited to see Anthony Hernandez because he usually puts on a pretty fun fight, win or lose.
I would never forget when that happened, like Joe Rogan going absolutely nuts when that happened, dude. He's like, "Oh my god, you do not understand what just happened, who Rodolfo Vieira is, and what just happened." There's the crazy.
He was going crazy,
dude. Fluffy is a G for that, dude, and that's one of his fucking signature chokes too. He does that, that's his thing. How do I say this? Earlier in the week, all my bets have been for Fluffy. Frem is the newcomer. On the weigh-ins, they both looked good. I didn't have any issues on how they looked. Fluffy Hernandez rocking the mullet. So I'm just trying to give him, I don't know if anyone can see it, I'm just trying to give it everything that I can, just harnessing all my power to him. Come on, Fluffy. Come on, Fluffy. You got this. At the stare down, man, I was heartbroken. Josh Friend is fucking massive, dude. I was like, damn, that's a big guy. I was like, oh no. That's the first time that I've actually seen him exactly how big he was. I was like, fuck, that's a big dude. So I'm kind of over here shit, son. But I'm still rocking with Fluffy. I hope Fluffy wins. Anything else for this fight, man?
Not just excited to see it happen, man. Fluffy, he's like I said, win or lose, he usually puts on a pretty fun fight. So I'll be excited to see it happen.
All right, so moving along, the one that you're just ready to talk about, we got Ian, the other future Gary, not Macy Barber. We got Ian Gary taking on Darian Weeks, close to my man Dorian's name here. I'm sure he got called Darian a few times growing up. I know he did because I was in the room. But what you got here, man? What you got here?
Really just interested to, I think you've kind of been excited for him as well, Ian Gary. Ian Gary, he definitely puts on some exciting fights. He's a hell of a striker. And I know in his last fight against Jordan Williams, he actually got in there and he was a big favorite, but and Jordan Williams was coming off of a couple of losses. I think one of them was actually to Mickey Gall we was talking about earlier. But Jordan Williams actually came out there and put it on Mickey Gall or Ian Gary a little bit, and actually, had him kind of reeling. And then after a while, Ian Gary kind of put it together, and the counter that he set up on Jordan Williams was just beautiful. And he's one of these next big Ireland guys coming up, and he definitely has a lot of push behind him from his side of the world. So seeing him, I'm looking at Darian Weeks,
Also trains at
his
Sanford
schedule now.
as well. Also trained at Sanford too.
Yeah.
So he also trained.
Oh, really?
He like isn't in like SBG, like where it's kind of like, they're kind of known for Connor now, but at the same time, it's like, who do they really have there? He actually trains at fucking Sanford, so he's got lots of good people there to train with. Gilbert, Kamaru, all them, man.
Right. So yeah, I'm looking at Ian Gary's Darian Weeks's strength of schedule here recently. He actually had a boxing bout here not too long ago, so he's definitely capable of striking. But I think Ian Gary, he's definitely set up for success here. So excited to see this fight for sure, and it's definitely a big spot for him being the feature spot on the prelims as well.
I agree with you. Good fight. I don't think Weeks is just going to get crushed really easily. Like the UFC knows what they're doing. By the way, before I get started, I sent you that link on your messenger. At 7 minutes 25 is when Aspen weighs in at just so you can see real quick. But anyway, Ian Gary looked great. I think the biggest thing for him is that he's just got a size difference on the dude. The Darian Weeks is good. He's a decent prospect, but man, Ian Gary is just on another level. I don't think it's going to be a mad early finish, but I do think Ian Gary just gets the knockout finish. He's just good. That step back right that he hit, like Jordan Williams with, like as you said, dude, man, and Jordan Williams is tough, man. That's a tough kid. And he knocked him. He was out cold, dude. Yeah. So I do think Ian Gary, well, even though we're not supposed to say who wins yet, it's going to be a good fight. But man, Ian Gary's going to for sure going to get the finish. Did you see that?
Aspen.
She looked good.
Yeah, Aspen. No, she did look good. She actually looked like you said. She actually had some abs and stuff. So that was actually that was a surprise.
Yeah, and I've been on fucking Rocky P all week, and then I saw that I was like, fuck, man. And then
shit.
And then the Josh Frim fight, I was like, damn, I've been on Fluffy all week too. Shit. All right, but so here we go. Vince from Hell Pichel taking on Mark O. Madsen. It's so odd that they do Mark and they put it as O. Dot and then Madsen. They that would why does it? I don't get it.
It's like Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah. But you can't just say Stephen Smith. Everyone's like, who's that? Oh, Stephen A. Smith. Yeah. All right, cool.
Exactly.
Mark O. Madsen, Olympian. So what's happening here, man. Taking on Vince from Hell Pichel. He is tough. This is at 155. Mark O. Madsen done this his entire career. If you will. Did you turn off a light or something? Because you got
no, I had some natural lighting in here, and then now the sun's starting to go a little bit.
The sun's going away.
I got a spotlight right here on, but yeah, I got this big shadow behind me. I could turn on my light.
I got you. Yeah, I'd probably do that. Anyway,
Yeah.
Vince from Hell Michelle is tough, but I do see this going all 3 rounds. This is going to decision pretty much. I don't have any doubt in my mind. And if this does get finished, it's going to be from Vince Pichel, but Marco Manson is undefeated. 10-0, 11-0, one of the two. What do you got here, man?
I'm actually surprised that you think that this fight's going to go to decision. I know Mark Madsen. I know, he's not known for finishes. I've seen Vince Pichel. He's pretty good for going out there and going out on a shield if he does lose. But yeah, I could see Marco Madsen. Like you said, Olympic wrestler. I mean, the game plan is kind of set up. Kind of how the fight could go just based off the styles. But I mean, I could definitely see a finish coming from either way. We've seen those wrestlers kind of step in there before and maybe get crushed with an uppercut or something like that. And I'm looking at Vince Pichel's record now. He does have a lot of decisions, but he does have a couple of finishes, and he has a couple of finished losses as well. So those fights, the ones that we always think are going to go to decision, always end up getting finished, just like the ones we always think are going to get finished end up going to the decision. But and that's just how the sport ends up working. That's just how the sport ends up working.
Exactly. So getting down to it, I guess before we jump into the top 4 fights on this card, pretty much the ones that everyone's interested in, like the ones we have to say the most about. And I don't know if I can not hold back for who I will be going for in those top 4 fights. So just real quick, let's just go over. I'm going to be going for Julio Arce. I'm going to be going for Pierre Rodriguez. I think Olynyk gets the sub, man. I think Mickey Gall wins by decision. As bad as I don't want to say it, I think Aspen Lab wins like that decision. I'm going for Fluffy, man, but I don't know, dude. Josh Frim's a big guy. Josh Frim's a real big guy, and he's just long and tall. It'll be interesting. I am going to be going for Fluffy, though. I hope he wins. Ian Gary versus Darian Weeks. I'm pretty sure Ian Gary finish. I don't know other way it's going to happen. Pichel versus Mark Madsen. I'm saying Mark Madsen via decision. Who you got aside from the top 4, man?
So Arce and Santos. Arce can get caught every now and then. So I think give me Santos with the upset. Rodriguez, Hansen, give me Rodriguez.
Real quick, I just want to say, if I was like the bet like that fight, like the Arce versus like the Santos, I would just bet it. Like just whatever the under is, take the under, because those dudes both crack, and it's the opening fight on the card, and the UFC tends to put that one like on the opening fight of the card that is just it's just a banger. It just always is. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was like getting back in form. Getting back. But no, Arce Santos. I think Santos, coming in with the upset. I think go ahead and give me him and Arce at bantamweight as well. I know he's fought at featherweight a couple times, but seems like at bantamweight he gets caught a little bit more. Give me Rodriguez. Give me. Man, that Bandera Olynyk fight is so tough to call because you just don't know which way it's going to go with Olynyk. Is he going to be able to get it to the ground?
I don't see a way Bandera wins that fight.
I mean, honestly, for me, but the way Olynyk looks, I mean, I don't see how he doesn't get knocked out. Honestly, so I mean, if I had to pick, give me Bandera. Give me Mike Malott. I think I don't know. Seeing Mickey Gall on the scale was kind of concerning to me. I could see him definitely getting tired like he has in his previous losses. Give me Rocky. I'm still just not a big believer in Aspen Lab and Rocky with the streak that she's been on here lately. I'll go ahead and take Rocky. Anthony Hernandez, let's go ahead. I'll take Fluffy. I do think the short notice of Josh Frim, him coming in on short notice, UFC jitters. Probably going to be the first time that he's fought in front of a big crowd in a long time. He's fighting on, the pay-per-view card now. I kind of like the exclusivity that the pay-per-views have, where they get the big crowds and like the TV cards get the apex. But I think Josh Frim coming in on short notice is going to hurt him. Give me Ian Gary by knockout, and I'll take let's go Marco Madsen.
Okay. All right. So kind of the same in a few, kind of a mix in a few. I guess at the end we'll pick 5 altogether, and that'll be the 5 that you put up against my 5 to win the championship. Because hopefully you'll find it by Sunday.
I actually know where it's at. I know where it's at.
Cool. All right,
I'm breaking it out.
Moving on to I don't know. I don't think it's the first fight on the main card, but Mackenzie Dern versus Tisha Torres. This is the one that me and you have a little bit differing opinions on. I think Mackenzie's subbing her. I know Tisha Torres has never been finished, but if you just look at her most recent fight, this against Angie Hill, dude, I just feel like this is what she does. This is what she always does. She rushes and throws kicks, side kicks, body kicks. She's a kicker. The Italian Tornado, she loves throwing kicks. And that leaves herself open for, even if a person doesn't have good takedowns, if you give them one of your legs, the takedown's halfway complete. They have to step behind your other leg, and there's the takedown. You saw in the Angie Hill fight last. I do think Tisha Torres makes these mistakes a lot, and I think it's going to leave openings to where this is going to go to the ground. It's going to the ground. And Mackenzie, once it's there, I think she gets the sub. She's not a big girl like Rodriguez was. And so I do think they're relatively like the same size. I think Dern gets the sub, dude. I really do. Let's hear your side.
I think really just with me with this fight, I think Mackenzie Dern, I just think that, she just been, I don't want to criticize her too much, because she has looked good, and she only had really, here recently, the Marina Rodriguez loss. I just think in the couple of her, the losses against Hebas, the loss against Rodriguez, I think in those fights, a little bit of her game was exposed as far as, she's not able to get the takedown. Now I think she fought Jane Jadova, and she had a good fight with her. It didn't really go to the ground too much, and that was a little bit more of a striking affair. But Jane Jadova is also a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and she doesn't really strike too much as well. And so I think I seen where you were going with that. So, looking across both sides of the room, Jane Jadova, she definitely she got your back at all times. But no, I think for Tisha Torres, here recently, she's been able to put on a little bit of a good streak here recently, and like I was, we were kind of arguing about. The only fighters that she really lost to are like literally the very best in the world,
literally champions.
Yeah, so like Zhang Weili, Joanna, Jessica Andrade, Rose Namajunas, Carla Esparza. So literally like all the champions that were in the division. And she's only 32 years old. And I know that her last win was against Angela Hill, but she's been able to put on, after a 4-fight losing streak, she's been able to put on a 3-fight winning streak and done it against some pretty decent competition. Like I said, the last win coming off of Angela Hill. And beat her by unanimous decision as well. And Angie Hill is someone. Yeah, I thought by rounds. The rounds were closer than what the actual scorecard said, but I thought it was clear that Tisha Torres won all the rounds. Taken from someone who actually bet Angie Hill to win by decision. When that fight happened, I was actually really surprised to see Tisha Torres take it to her the way she did. So yeah, I think Tisha Torres, I think she's just tested. I think she's tough. out of all the competition that she's fought, she hasn't been finished by anybody. So I just think that, you know, this is also just really good matchmaking by the UFC for, you know, Dern to, you know, her to be one that can kind of test Tisha in a way that Tisha hasn't really been tested yet. As far as that jiu-jitsu goes, is definitely some good matchmaking.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is, man. So you're taking who? Who you taking?
Oh, you wanted to pick now? Oh yeah, I'm taking Tisha. Give me Tisha by decision. I think
Tisha
that's yeah, I think that's going to be the cherry on top for a lot of my parlays is Tisha by decision.
I'm taking Dern. I think she subs her, but it could be by decision, dude. If it goes to the ground, I just think they're so much of the same size. Like Dern's got better control than Angie Hill did, dude. So
Tisha Torres is stacked though. She is bricked up, man. And she looked good on the scales. You want to talk about looking good on the scales? She looked really good on the scales earlier.
How odd is it that I like the Rocky, like the and
Tisha are fighting on the same card?
Like they're both fighting on the same card. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, I guess they're not going to corner each other. So that's a note to make. So
well, I mean, and they train with their coaches a lot too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I mean, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on to the one, the only, what everyone's here to hear about, what we're here to talk about. We made this podcast come back for this fight. Khamzat, Boris Chimaev takes on Gilbert Dorino Burns. Here we go, man. Do you know how I'm sure this has happened to you, like your daughter is like doing something you don't want her to do and you just like she's like upset and so you have to like pick her up. She's like crying and like screaming and such and you have to carry her somewhere. I think that's how Khamzat's going to carry Gilbert Burns across the cage and just ground the pound finish him, dude. I really do, man. You've just seen what is Khamzat's capable of, and you haven't seen he's only been hit one time, man. So that being said, dude, GM3 is one of the biggest middleweights there is. Khamzat slept them in one shot. Li Jinliang, one of the biggest welterweights there are, and he picked him up and carried him across the ring like you would your daughter if she's screaming and crying. She's doing something you don't want to do. Like, yeah, she's flailing, you know. You don't want to get hit by her, but you know, you're okay. That's what he did to one of the biggest scary dudes in 170, dude. And Gilbert Burns used to fight at 155, dude. He got knocked out by Dan Hooker. Moved up. Got knocked out by Usman. I know that's really the only person he's lost to. But he has tough fights with people. And that being said, dude, it's like Khamzat hasn't even shown an ounce of weakness. Gilbert Burns has shown weakness. He'll take a back step. Khamzat doesn't take a back step. He's forward 100%, and he's going to smash him, dude. And just one thing that I just want to point out just real quick is everyone talks a lot about Gilbert's subs and such. And don't get me wrong, ADCC world champion multiple times. I agree with you. However, in MMA, he's only got finishes at 155. He's never finished anyone by a sub at 170. And Khamzat is a big 170. He fights at 185. So, as I said to begin with, dude, Khamzat via finish. I think he knocks him out, but he might sub him. But I think he's either going to one punch sleep him or he's going to ground and pound finish him, dude. What do you think?
I just think this fight is just so. I just think it's so interesting because just from this aspect that Khamzat, we both been on the hype train, since he first came into the UFC. So just with everything that he's been able to do, and then you take that into account with Gilbert Burns, kind of where he's been as far as, making the title run. A lot of people thought he was washed. I thought that, I thought Stephen Thompson going up against him, I thought it was going to be a no-brainer that Stephen Thompson was going to beat him. I thought it was going to be a decision win. And Stephen Thompson might have been fighting for the title next. But I think Gilbert Burns really surprised me with his game. His takedowns, he was able to control Stephen Thompson. And I thought that, going into that fight, I thought he was at a size disadvantage. And he did look small in there against Stephen Thompson. But he was able to, actually outmuscle Stephen Thompson for the most part. And then I think that most interesting thing with Khamzat, he's coming off of the 2 fights in 10 days. He went from 185 at the first fight to the second fight at 170. So to make that weight cut in the short amount of time and still smash the opponent. But so here's the thing with Khamzat.
Let's be real. Reese McKee and John Phillips aren't that good. We got it.
So that's my point. Reese McKee is a lightweight that moved up to welterweight to take that fight. John Phillips, fine fighter, but he's not that great of a fighter. GM3, that's some good competition there as far as middleweight goes. We've seen him be very up and down.
Because me and you both were like, man, we got to put 5 on fucking GM3. He's really good. And he just fucking snoozed him in 10 seconds, dude.
Yeah, so that was the one that really, when that fight happened, the way he put out GM3, it was like, wow. But we've seen GM3 be put out like that before. Although Gilbert Burns has been put out, I think really the one was when the way he was able to run through the leash. When he was able to run through leash, it was like, wow, okay, this dude, like, he really means it. But the craziest thing about throughout all of his fights, we've never seen him go through any bit of adversity at all. I think that's, I guess my biggest question is, how is he going to respond to any of it? Because if he takes somebody down like Gilbert Burns, Gilbert isn't going to give him the satisfaction of, just being comfortable with getting pounded on like Reese McKee and John Phillips was until he was able to get them out of there. And I think for Gilbert, listening to him, me and you both listen to Morning Combat, and listening to his interview with Luke and Brian, I don't know, it kind of just, it opened me up more to the possibility of Gilbert might have a chance, just because, he had just mentioned some of the things that Khamzat hasn't been through in a fight, as far as, when he takes somebody down, if somebody attacks his leg, what is he going to do when that happens? I don't know if he's really been in an MMA fight where anybody's challenged him in the grappling department. Now he's been challenged as far as not being able to take anybody down, but has anybody ever attacked him off of their back? He hasn't been through any adversity. So my biggest thing for Khamzat is, how is he going to respond? Because I think there's just no way that Gilbert Burns isn't going to give him any resistance at all. Like, the Leech wasn't able to, and all those guys before. I mean, I got to think that Gilbert Burns, as good as he is, the capable fighter he is, that he's going to be able to give some resistance. And how is Khamzat going to be able to respond to that, once he takes him down? Because for me, if Gilbert Burns is on his back in that Kamaru Usman fight, when he goes for the head kick and Kamaru kind of tripped him to kind of catch his breath when Burns rocked him early, Usman sat there and held his leg and wanted no smoke on the ground. I got to think, even though Usman does not have good submissions, the dominant wrestler he is, the way that he came up in the welterweight division was being a dominant wrestler. Him and Burns trained together before. If he did not get on top of Gilbert Burns, that means he's seen something that we have not seen before. He knows what Gilbert is capable of. And that's what's got me curious as of, if Khamzat is to take it there, what is the possibility of how that fight could end? So I just want to see how Khamzat is able to respond to any type of adversity or any type of resistance that Gilbert is going to be able to bring to him. Because I got to think Gilbert is going to be able to.
That being said, Khamzat, first round finish.
Man, I see, that's the thing. I don't think it's going to be that easy. I don't think it's going to be that easy.
It's just, what has shown
I don't.
You that
I
it's
think
not going to be that. What has shown you that it's not going to be that easy? Like that's
Gilbert Burns is
he's just done it.
Gilbert Burns is what
He's
showed
just
me.
done it to bigger guys. Like I know MMA math doesn't work, but do you see Gilbert Burns being the leech like that? I don't see him being the leech like that.
No, he's not
Do
beating
you see
the.
GM3 snooze, or do you see Gilbert Burns snoozing GM3? I don't, dude. I
No, but
don't.
that's not
Like,
that's
and
not
it's like
Gilbert Burns' style
it's
of
so.
fighting, though.
And all right, but then you look at what happened early in the Usman fight. Usman had already got dropped early in that fight, so it it isn't like his like decision making was 100 percent, dude. And at the same time, he knows because they're relatively the same size, dude. You saw in the weigh-ins, dude. Khamzat's bigger, man. He's just bigger, just a bigger guy. I really don't think he's gonna have much. I know Gilbert's good. He's not going to have a lot of how do I say this? A lot of resistance. I don't think so. I know that you said that he isn't going to give it up easy, but no one gave it up easy. Khamzat just did it because he's Khamzat. I think Dorian's frozen, by the way. Oh no, I just saw him blink. I saw him blink. All right, cool.
No,
All
no,
right.
I'm listening. I'm taking everything in. I'm
All right.
listening.
Yeah. Dude, I just think he's gonna run through him. Nothing has shown me that he's not going to. It's like what is who do you think has better striking, the Leech or Gilbert?
Uh, Leach is more powerful. He's got better one-shot power, but I think Gilbert in the fights that he's shown me, honestly, he has really good striking. He definitely has a speed advantage over Leach for sure. I don't think there's any question about that.
Dude, could you see Khamzat just running through him now?
Running through Gilbert?
Yeah, just like everyone else. Like, could you see him just picking up, slamming him down, and just be just like everyone else?
Now that I don't
like,
see,
I
don't see him.
What tells you that that's not going to happen?
Because I think with the jiu-jitsu, man, I just think that he's going to be able to challenge him in ways that no one's been able to challenge him just yet. That's just my opinion. I just think that with that grappling advantage, if he goes for leg attacks and stuff like that, Khamzat's never been attacked like that before. So I don't know.
How do you know that he doesn't train
of
that all the time? Like, he's a pro MMA fighter. I'm sure he trains that.
But I've watched like enough of his highlights, and we've seen enough of his UFC fights. I'm not saying he doesn't train it, but to see it in an actual fight, I mean, you could practice something all day long, but seeing it in an actual fight play out, it's different, and that's what I'm just interested to see that adversity that Khamzat can face.
So you're picking Gilbert Burns here?
By surprise, give me Chimaev by decision. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think Gilbert's going. to give him a lot. I do think that the size with I do think the size advantage with Chimaev. I think he's going to be able to control him, like maybe hold him against the fence. I just don't see him. And if he does finish him, I say he knocks him out on the feet. I don't think he. I don't think he ends up taking him down, just slamming him, and talking shit to Dana White as he's submitting him. I don't think it's that easy.
He might, dude. He might just take him down, beat him up until he can't do anything, just because he's bigger, man. He's just bigger. And honestly, Gilbert's chin, dude. Usman really knocked him out with a jab, man. I know Usman probably hits
but
hard.
He battered him in that. He battered him a little bit though before he served him up with that jab.
Yeah. So your pick still going Khamzat. All right, dude. 11 fights, 11 finishes, brother. That's how I'm going. So going on, I guess there's 2 title fights on this card. We got Aljo versus Peter Yan, man. I was on Aljo in the first fight. I think you are too, or no? Did you pick out Aljo in the first fight? Yeah.
I did.
Clearly, that was correct. I'm glad I made the right decision, and I will move along with what I picked this time. I'm picking Aljo again, dude. Aljo looks good, dude. No, I'm just kidding. So clearly in that first fight, dude, it was not going his way. Aljo was putting the beans on Jan early. I think he won the first 2 rounds clear. It's just Aljo kind of gassed, man. And it's like he's used to 3-round fights. He hasn't had to go 5 yet. And it was kind of showing that, like, oh shit, like there's something not going right for him here. But he's been in there now. He knows. I just feel like if he's a lot smarter about it, he can get it done. And if he finds the back at any point, dude, I think Aljo can sub anyone. Aljo's really good, man. It's not smart, but I think Aljo wins this. If anyone went Jan, I would completely understand why, because of just how the last fight went. That's the smart way to go. Something tells me Aljo here, man. Something tells me he's going to show something different, that he did it last time, man. Give me Aljo via submission. That's what Aljo via backpack.
Yeah. See, man, we've been talking about this fight too, and I actually think this fight's going so under the radar just because the way the first fight ended. I think a lot of people were just giving Aljamain a lot of flack, but I think just as far as style-wise, I do think these are the 2 best bantamweights in the world right now that are getting ready to fight. So I think really the biggest thing for Aljo, I completely agree with you. I do think the first round is going to be subjective due to the knockdown that Jan had. And I do understand that people, if you gave the first round to Jan, I couldn't be too mad about that. But I don't think that Aljamain got completely washed in the first round. He would have won the first round if it wasn't for the knockdown unanimously by everybody. He won the first 2 rounds. I think his problem was that he came out way too frenetic and way too he was so tense, and he was just ready to just put it on Jan. And I think with him not having that 5-round experience, I think it really weighed on him as the fight went. So I think, the biggest thing for him is going to be to pace himself. And we all know how Peter Yan likes to fight. He fights in that little shell-style defense, kind of takes his read within the first half, probably first round, maybe takes the first round off. A lot of people note that he might take the first round off to get a read on his opponent. And then after that, that's when he goes in for the kill. I think the biggest thing for him is, maybe just staying the course just like he did last fight. Just not getting flustered by the pressure that Aljo's probably going to bring. I think for Aljo, I just think he just needs to just kind of not come out as high pace as he did. I think he was just so eager to outpace Jan that Jan just slowly but surely let him just wear himself down. And as those that 3rd and 4th round came, he was just able to put it on Sterling there. Sterling got tired, and I think Jan was just getting frustrated in the moment and threw that knee. But Jan is a killer. Jan is a savage. He's known as Cheater Jan because he does some edgy things. He does some edgy things for sure, but he's a nasty fighter. He has a nasty mentality. But I actually do think I think you can give me Aljo as well. I think you can give me a unanimous decision win, because I think Jan's going to be too tough to get submitted. But I do think Aljo having that 5-round experience now against Jan last year, having the neck surgery that he had just now, I think he's going to come into this fight fully healthy. I think that Sterling's going to have the speed advantage over him. Of course, that Jan's going to have the overall striking ability, but I think as long as Aljo doesn't get hit with his clean shots, I think he can get in and out because he's going to have the length on Jan to be able to ride out a decision win. So give me Aljo by decision.
Not a bad pick, man. Not a bad pick. I'm glad we're both on Aljo here. Am I going to put it in am I confident enough to anchor my parlays on it? Hell no. Hell no.
Nah, but we putting a straight bet on it. Best believe that.
All right. So moving on to the main event of the night. We got Alexander the Great Volkanovski taking on TKZ Chan Sung Jung, the Korean Zombie, man. Geesh, the odds for this are a little rough, man. Minus 720 for Volk, plus 500 for Zombie, man. It's kind of crazy.
Those are boxing odds. Those are boxing odds. That's crazy.
Man. He's got Volk is a bigger favorite than Khamzat is over Burns. And that's kind of crazy because it's like, man, you've seen Volk get Max dropped Volk, and Max don't even have power like that. What really gives me hesitancy to this fight is Zombie has really boxing heavy style, so he's like heavy on his like lead foot, and you saw it in the Max fight. Volk will tear up your front leg with those leg kicks, man. And I just think that's going to be the story of this fight. Alexander's going to win. If not, I'm saying anytime after the 4th round via leg kicks wouldn't surprise me. And if not, by decision. I'm going to Volk by decision probably. But if he got stopped via leg kicks, it wouldn't surprise me because Volk will continue to throw leg kicks and Zombie just will keep walking forward. But how many can you take before you start falling down, you know?
Yeah, I think for Zombie, he's just such a freaking warrior, dude. And man, just watching some of his highlights, I love for some reason that Hinata Moicano knockout, the way that he just hit him with that overhand right as Moicano was throwing that jab. I mean, it's something of beauty to watch. Zombie is, I think, the thing that's most dangerous about him, as you said, his boxing heavy stance. But man, he's got some really good counters, like some good overhands, some good uppercuts. If you watch a lot of his finishes, a lot of his finishes that come from submission actually come from a lot of counter shots that he sets up on people. So I think for Volkanovski, you know, that's what he needs to be more worried about more than anything. But I think you know, seeing Volk at the weigh-ins honestly got me feeling a little bit different about this fight. I mean, he looked really good. His face is sunk in a little bit, but man, he looked bricked. And after that weigh-in, he was super intense. I haven't seen him this intense, even after the Max fight or before the Ortega fight. And he had a little bit of steam going into the Ortega fight coming off the Ultimate Fighter. But man, he's just going into this fight like he's got a chip on his shoulder because I think he still hears people chirping about Max being the uncrowned champ. When him, you know, yelling that him and Zombie are going to go to war. I know we haven't seen it in a little bit because Volkanovski's been, I don't want to say safe, but he's just been winning title fights up against the top end of the division. But I think he's very well set up to get a TKO finish here. I think that, you know, Zombie, if he takes a little bit of his old approach with how he earned his name with the Zombie style, if he comes in, I think Volkanovski can chop up his leg, make him a little bit immobile, as you were stating. And if Korean Zombie's going to stand in there and wait for a counter, I think Volkanovski's going to be the wrong guy to do it with. He's got good power. We've seen him turn guys into ground beef with his ground and pound, and he's knocked out a couple of guys on his feet as well. So he's definitely a heavy hitter. If Zombie leaves his chin out there, I think Volk's going to go in, and I think give me Volk by TKO.
Also, not a bad pick. Wouldn't surprise me, but not early though, right? Like later on.
No, later in the fight.
4 or 5.
Yeah, definitely later in the fight.
Yeah.
I definitely think I think it's not gonna be easy. Zombie's, you know, he's tough as old leather, as you know, I like to say, man. So Zombie, he's not gonna be easy to get out of there. But I think the biggest thing is really gonna be, the biggest thing is going to be for him to not get damaged as much early on for Zombie. But I just think with Volkanovski, the way he's so shifty, and even for him to be as short as he is, he has a really good reach, and he uses it well. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing for him, and I think he'll be able to step in. And if Zombie comes in with his chin up like he has in the past, dude, I think Volk can catch him.
Yeah. Do you see any way Zombie wins this fight?
If Volkanovski if he gets a little bit lackadaisical, and I think if Zombie catches him with like a counter shot, similar to how he caught like Dennis Bermudez or Hinata Moicano. I think like similar to those finishes, you know, Moicano went to step in with a jab, and a Zombie caught him with a big overhand. So I think short of that, I don't see how Zombie could win. I just think Volk is the more dynamic striker as far as the kicks. And he's got the wrestling in his back pocket too. So I know Zombie's got more submissions, but I think Volkanovski is going to be. He just looks like he's a stronger guy, even though he's shorter. He's only got a inch short difference in reach between the two. I think Volk's a more well-rounded guy.
I'm the same as you, man. I don't see a way. Well, you said you do see a way if he catches him with a counter, dude. Even if he gets caught with a counter, dude, I think Volk has one loss, and that was at 170, maybe.
A welterweight.
Like, is he? Like he fought all the way up at like 185. So he's fought all the way from 185 all the way down now to 145, and he only lost at 170. So it's like, man, he can take a shot. He can for sure take a shot. I don't think Zombie has the power to get him out of there just because they're both at 145. Now, granted, maybe they're both out of camp. Who knows? But even still, dude, I'm still taking Volk here. So, all right, man. Now's the time. I guess I'll give you a second to like look through, but we're going to give you guys a small parlay, 3, 4, 5 legs, something like that, just to hopefully win you some.
I'm doing 3. I don't get too crazy.
Small cheddar. Dorian does 3, but I guess I'm going to go first. I'm going to give you a 4-leg parlay. What I am the most confident in. Hopefully Dorian can agree with me, but I know he's not going to because his anchor piece is the opposite of what I have. So up first, I'm going Aspen Lab versus Raquel Pennington to go the distance. It is a -300, kind of chalky, I know, but we have it in a parlay, so it's all right. Up next, we got Alexia Olynyk, main line, money line, whatever you want to call it. He is a -105. This is all on DraftKings, by the way, from me. Dorian will be coming from FanDuel if you want to hear what he has to say.
FanDuel, if you want to get the sponsorship in here, I mean, come on, man.
So -300 to distance Lad versus Pennington, Alexia Olynyk -105, and then Ian Gary via finish at a -105. Not bad odds. And then lastly, Mackenzie Dern, straight up money line, main line, -120. So that is those 4 altogether is a +831. $5 on that will win you $46. Can't beat it. And if you lose $5, it's only $5, you know. So that is my 4-leg Dorian. I don't know if you're not ready yet, I can keep talking. Just let me know. Well, you're muted, so.
Yeah, so that's another thing. But because I was looking through and I had actually one set, but I did not realize that the Jairzinho Rosenstrike and Marcin Tybura fight was off.
Oh, shit.
So
I didn't notice that fell out either. Dude, there's a lot of fights on this card. So it's like,
yeah,
I forgot.
Yeah, I placed a bet a couple days ago, thinking that fight was going to still be in play because I was just going to give you the parlay that yeah, that was one of them that I had in there. But now that I can't use him, I'm kind of scrambling a little bit on what I want to do. But what I'm looking at right now, as I was stating earlier, Tisha Torres, give me Tisha Torres by decision. And I also think Rocky, her partner, give me Rocky by decision. And then you can go Ian Gary money line. Let's just go to make that a little bit easier. And then you can just bet $10 and it'll win you $62 back on FanDuel at a +528 odds. So you get your $10 back plus the $52. So
not bad.
Little quick, easy thing you could do and get you a quick $50 so you can have a good night out.
So I guess if you're going between us, our locks were what? Me and you thought Ian Gary by finish was that.
I just said money line,
something like that.
I just went money line.
All right. Well, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's getting too risky there. I honestly wish I would have replaced Dern money line with Marco Madsen via decision. That gets you plus $1,500. $5 will win you $80. So interchangeable. Or if you want to do a fucking 5-leg, who knows? Get too crazy. I'm for sure going to have a few 10, 12 legs. I don't even know how many fights are on this card anymore. But haven't called him any farts today yet, so pretty good way to end the day. So anything else, man, before we get out of here?
I would say I think I said you haven't called him any cards just yet, so
yeah, I know. But I have said
cards,
but it's all right.
But not for the fights though. You called the fights, not the card. But I think Dinner's calling. So
I didn't hear what you said there.
I think the same for you.
Oh, okay, cool.
I said I think Dinner's calling for both of us here.
Yeah. Anything else before we get out of here, man?
Nah, man. Just good pod. Good to be back, and we'll be back to give y'all more.
Will we be back here Sunday or no? What do you think?
I'd like to.
All right, cool. Hopefully we see you guys Sunday. That'll be out either Sunday night or Monday. This will be out later on tonight or early in the morning. But either way, that's it for me. I'm Matt Anderson, Dorian Rose on that side over there. We will catch you guys in a couple days. Peace.